Okay, it is 10 p.m. Welcome back. This is 10 Ways to Weather the Storm. My name is Kareen Kircher, and I'm here for only 10 minutes to hang out with you, give you some encouragement on whatever storms you're facing in your life based on some notes that I had taken when I was looking for some encouragement myself, and this has been helpful to me and other people I shared it with. So hang out with me for 10 minutes. This call will be recorded and available later on my Facebook page. And let's get right into it. So tonight is about strengthening yourself. When you have a crisis, whether it's in your personal life, your health, your finances, your career, your business, whatever the case may be, wherever you're having a crisis, sometimes people go into survival mode where, not only are you being battered by a storm, but you're also you're hunkering down. So hunkering down sometimes means you don't even notice you're not really taking care of yourself. So tonight's lesson is about strengthening yourself. Of course, you're not just a body. You have a soul, you have a spirit. So you need to take care of all that also. If you're trying anything challenging, for example, physically, you know that there's a mindset that needs to change so that you can attempt something which you don't normally do, and then your body will come along. The same way, when you have challenged yourself to do something, that also has the corresponding effect of improving what's in your mind. So we're going to talk about a few ways right now that this can be very practical, and you don't have to do all of them. Every night we are presenting just a few ways in which you could apply this lesson, and then it's up to you to figure out, okay, which one can you apply over the next 24 hours until we meet back here again. So tonight is really about strengthening yourself, your whole being. And the first thing I want you to think about, and you may want to jot down this question, is, are you making time to take care of yourself? Are you making time to take care of yourself, even if it's in very small ways, right? Are you giving yourself perhaps 15 minutes just to think, 15 minutes to not check email, to not listen to the news, to not respond to messages? Are you doing, even if it's something insignificant, but are you reclaiming that time in order to take care of yourself? So that's something which is very important. By making sure you have some control of your time, this is something which has a domino effect, because when you have a crisis in your career or your business or in your personal life in some way, you feel very much out of control, that things are not in your control. So what can you do to take care of yourself, even in those very, very small ways? The second question is, are you eating something that's nourishing you at least once a day or at least once a week? It's very easy, and for me, I certainly am not perfect in this area at all, but are you making sure that you're thinking about and incorporating something that's nourishing to your body, that makes your body feel good, that will make your doctor proud of you, right? It is important for us to give good things to ourselves. And a lot of times when we are stressed out by something, taking care of ourselves sort of takes a back seat. And one way to make sure you bring yourself back to the forefront as a priority is by making sure that you eat something that is actually nourishing to you. And besides the food, it can be water. Maybe you are already eating enough, nutritious foods every day, but are you drinking enough water? Now, you can't go from drinking like 16 ounces of water a day to 64 ounces of water the very next day and for several more days thereafter. You may want to build up to it, so maybe you can drink an extra 8 ounces of water. It's not much, but it's just a small sample of something you can do that is good for yourself and that reestablishes a good pattern for you and something that's going to support you in many different ways. Now, here's something that a lot of people don't think they have control over, and that's their sleep. Are you getting enough sleep? Chances are you're not. Most people get less than 7 hours of sleep, and as a matter of fact, you or a lot of people probably get far less than that, and you get the sleep debt, and people think they can make up for it over the weekend. Of course, that's not really true. But again, this is something which affects everything. Sleep affects your health. Sleep affects your thinking. Sleep affects how quickly you are able to react to something, and it affects the quality of your decisions. So not giving yourself enough sleep does not prove that you are disciplined. It does not prove that you have mastery over yourself. If you want to have mastery over yourself, giving up the sleep that your body needs is not the way to do it. And giving your body and your mind the reaction time and the clarity. A lot of people, they're walking around in a fog, in a brain fog, and partially because they're not getting enough sleep. So one way to help yourself is to go ahead and get sufficient sleep. Stress is something which it can be chemically measured. It's something that we can see in our own blood chemistry. So if you're not doing these small little things to help yourself, then you can find yourself easily slipping into a mode of surviving. People who are dying many times will start reducing their intake of food, right? So if you find yourself in that sort of mentality where you feel like you're being overtaken by this problem that you have, one way to make yourself get out of that situation is to make sure you do the small, minor things of life, apparently minor things of life, but that can really have a good effect on you. So make sure you do get enough sleep. So the last point I wanted to make is, are you making time for your physical health, for your mental health, as well as your spiritual health once a day, at least once a week, right? Whether that's going to church, whether that's meditating, reading something inspiring. It could be looking for a positive story in the newspaper or online if you don't get your newspaper in person. Look for something positive to feed your mind, and look for something positive for your body and for your overall well-being. We're not just a human body, so we need to make sure that all the parts of us can support the other parts of our lives as best as we can. And that's one way to weather the storm. This is Corinne Kircher. I hope this has been helpful for you. And these will not be always exactly 10 minutes on the dot, but this is the maximum limit. And I hope this will be helpful for you in your journey. So tomorrow night, we're going to talk about what exactly persistence is. A lot of people talk about persistence and perseverance. What does that actually mean? Does that mean you have to beat your head against a wall? And again, in practical terms, what can you actually do? Thank you for joining me. Have a wonderful 24 hours until we meet again.